we just have a few little things to do, and then we'll have a little bit of club business, and then we'll hear from the students.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for the day that you granted to us, for your mercies which are new every morning, the strength you grant us to serve the Norristown community through this Rotary Club. We ask now your blessing upon us as a club and as a community in this new year, for your glory and your glory alone. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, hello, Joanne. I underestimated this a little, but I hope everyone got something to eat if you wanted it. And feel free to go get yourself something else while I'm talking up here. That won't bother me in the slightest. If you're not finished eating, please continue. For the students and teachers here, I'm going to go through a few things related to our club. I'll try to be as brief as possible. I'll just say it 3 times. Dues, dues, dues. Okay? Gotta get your dues in. All right? Let's get that done. Next week, the hotel needs this room. So we will be meeting in the breakfast area. We actually will have a board meeting in the breakfast area, so this should be interesting. We have a projector and we have a screen that Dave is bringing through. So we should be able to have a regular meeting. This is not going to happen very often. Every couple of months, they have to give us at least a month's notice. So we're just going to try to see how this works. Keep that in mind. Don't come in here next week. Go right over there to lunch. It's foundation season, and next week in the lobby, Patty Smith from Bluebell will be coming. She's the district's foundation chair. She's going to give us a talk on the foundation. And then any member of the club who wants to come in at 11 and attend the board meeting, you're welcome to be there. It's time for nominations. So, anyone interested in running for office next year? Let us know. If no one runs, we're going to do the same process we used for me. We're going to have a room with 6 chairs in it, and there will be 7 of us, and someone will be standing up when the music stops. Okay, so that's how that works. Okay. The date for the pancake breakfast is very solid now. It's Saturday, May 9th. Okay, got that down. As far as the date for the administrative assistance day and the program that we're going to have to work some things out there. There's a bit of a conflict. So the RLI, the Leadership Institute, is March 28th at DeSales University. I'm going to look that up. We have the Summit District Conference, April 24th to the 26th in King of Prussia, close by. And if you feel like going to Honolulu, the International Conference is in Honolulu from the 6th to 10th of June. Okay. Fellowship table, Jim.
Fellowship table, who took my sheet? I saw it, it was right there. I know.
Is it passing around?
We had, last I saw it, David, we have
Here.
three, here we go. Here we go.
You got it?
Okay. Mark called. I responded to it.
You gotta keep your
Check your calendars. I need January 23rd, 2 people, and 1 person to join Scott Wright on the 30th. So,
Okay.
any Rotary Club member? No? Okay.
Oh, and by the way,
See me before you leave then.
by the way, since I'm being videoed, I just want to say on the record, it was a dirty hit. We would have won that game. He hadn't had a concussion. So, it's recorded.
Thank you,
Angelo.
Neither of my daughters likes football simply because of those occurrences, so it was bad. It was the whole thing. Scott, upcoming program.
Next week is Rotary Foundation. We will be down the hall here in the little breakfast nook, so just be mindful of that. The following week on the 23rd, We have Michael Shaw, who spoke before. He spoke on the railroads of King of Prussia, but now he's speaking on the history of the King of Prussia Mall. And then the following week after that, on the 30th, is Baron King from Liberty Thrift.
Sounds really interesting. Membership one.
So welcome to our guest today. You know what? You look just like Rotarians.
Yes, right.
I think you belong in Rotary.
Or Interact.
Or Interact. We're here every Thursday, and the Rotary is a wonderful organization serving Norristown for 99 years. A long time. So Rotary sure has changed, and we welcome you to join us.
Yeah, notice we're not wearing any funny hats and there weren't any secret handshakes.
Judy's not here.
Who elected this guy?
Okay. Any other club business anyone would like to bring up? No? Okay. All right. So now we have a tradition where if you want to pay a single dollar, happy buck, you can note something that you're happy about this week.
I'm happy to welcome our second batch of worthy recipients from Norristown Area High School.
Just put right in there.
Okay, and I'm especially happy that we're giving out very nice looking plaques now, thanks to Denise Ash.
We're going to get Canadian sports support.
Okay. In the interest of international peace and brotherhood, you will have noted that Canada won the gold in the International Junior Hockey Championship, which is very good for all those boys, so they can get a future job in the NHL one of these days, or somewhere else. I'm also very happy because I got five bucks here to be back after a very, very busy and productive Christmas season, and was short but intense and not cold every day, so it was good.
I have a happy buck, and you'll have to bear with me, and I just need your quiet. I want you to listen to this. This is my 5-year-old grandson talking about his 14-month-old grandson.
Put it by the microphone there, Jim.
If I can get it. First snap. Everybody's on 2
Have 2 happy bucks. We had all my kids home and grandkids for Christmas for a week, and it's well worth the money.
Good.
I got a happy buck. Good to see our friend and fellow Rotarian Bernie Riley here, and I want to ask all of you, Bernie's having some health issues, and let's remember to keep Bernie and Jean in our prayers.
I'm so happy today that the Norristown Area School District is here. Miss Andrea, one of my student workers, I love her to death. She gives me a hard time, but I'm glad to see her gear up because they have been wonderful partners. And just this week, Dave donated some equipment to the building, and the Gear Up students made it a way to make it a STEM science experiment, they call themselves. They got it to work, and they're making a playlist to have a party for the kids. So everything's coming together. So.
Well, I'm happy. Mary and I took a little trip to DC, and it didn't snow too much. So. All right. Judy's not here. We usually look it up. Birthdays. Does anyone want to admit that they have a birthday? Anyone going to volunteer to tell us that? I don't even know where she keeps that. No hat today.
That was the time.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I am going to, let's see. Louise, is it yours today?
You ready for me?
I'm very interested in learning about Gear Up for reasons I'll be talking about next month.
All right, welcome everyone. This is a day that we all look forward to because we get to meet some more of Norristown High School's finest students. Before we get into them though, I want to remind all of us Rotarians, as well as inform our guests about Rotary's 6 causes. And I think with all of the events and traumas going on in the world right now, Rotary has a big role to play in all 6 of these. Promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, sanitation, and hygiene, saving mothers and children, growing local economies, and what we're doing today, supporting education. The Student Achievement Awards are based on very strenuous guidelines. They're presented to students in their senior year who exhibit unusual or outstanding performance in academic required courses, technology, physical fitness, business, or the arts, school and or community service, humanitarian deeds, and personal courage or resilience. Exemplary character is of utmost importance, and I look forward to hearing about how all these students met these criteria. So the students will be introduced by their guidance counselor who brought them here today, and students, if you would please introduce your guests to us. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Christy Snaith. I am one of the counselors at the high school, and I'm here to introduce you to 5 amazing students. I'm going to start first with Max. Come on up, Max.
This is the first one here.
Throughout high school, Max has participated in Unidad, DECA, and National Honor Society. He has been captain of the Norristown JV varsity boys soccer team for the past 4 years and holds 2 part-time jobs. He plans to attend either the University of Pennsylvania or Temple University, majoring in finance. He dreams of becoming a financial advisor and owning different businesses. He also has a passion for reforming the Norristown community and changing the stereotype that people have of Norristown. Mrs. Belinsky, Max's AP Psychology, states that he is driven, passionate, charismatic, hardworking, and a humble young man. He is a shining example of what can be accomplished with a good attitude, strong work ethic, and Norristown area high school education. Max is a student leader and an example to his peers of what can be achieved with hard work and a happy heart. Mrs. Bartlett, Max's English teacher, says that he is a deep thinker who always has interesting ideas that he is willing to share with his classmates to further critical thinking. This is Max.
How's everybody doing? I'm Max, and my mom's over there with me, Daniela. So that was a little bit about me. I'll start off with a little story. So I got here in Norristown. I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina. Then I moved to Norristown with my mom when I was 2 years old. And we met my father here. I call him my adoptive father because my biological father left me when I was just a baby. So all I ever known was him, so he became my father. And a few years later, my parents separated. But that never changed his role in my life, so he continued to be my father. But we did struggle because that turned my mom into a single mother. And she had to work 50 plus hours a week, and that left me with my little sister at the time. And that was since I was in 2nd grade, so I was young. So I had to mature fast, and as soon as I could work, started working when I was in 6th grade, so this would be my 6th year working. And I felt lonely, I felt sad, I felt like I wouldn't be able to do anything. But nevertheless, that never stopped me from achieving my academic goals, achieving everything I want in life, whether that be being a healthy person or anything. So I used all that pain, you could say, and I used it to my advantage and to be the person I am today. And that in Norristown is a big part of that. Norristown shaped me in a lot of ways because I've seen things that no 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid should be seeing. And that only makes me want to be more successful in life. And to give back to the community and get awards here, it means a lot because I go to other places and Norristown is like a trash. That's what we get called, Norristown trash. And I embrace that because people don't really know what goes on inside the school. They only hear that we have violence and guns and drugs, but none of that is true because we have great students, we have great teachers, great staff. We have the Gear Up program, which has helped me in so many ways because although my parents are great, they're not always there, and that's okay though because I have so much help around me. And if I get to attend the University of Pennsylvania or even Temple University, it'll be a dream come true. And seeing both my parents struggle financially only gives me more reason to become a financial advisor because I love handling money. But I like helping people with their money. I like budgeting. I like the spreadsheets. I like the numbers. I like not only helping them financially wise, but also emotionally wise because behavior and finances go together. You can't have one or the other. And more than ever, I feel like Latinos and the cultural side of things should be embraced now more than ever because we need to start empowering ourselves. And now more than ever, I feel like we're very separated as a big country, and we should start doing things to stick together because when we have union, we can finalize things and we can get things done instead of being in arguments with each other over political status or financial status. I mean, who cares? At the end of the day, we're all human, and things are going to be things, and we can do whatever we can to make our lives better. And that's why I want to be successful as possible so I can come back to Norristown and help reform it and embrace what we have here because we have a lot of talent here that's not known of, and we should just be at it because we're capable of doing a lot. And I want to thank Rotary Club for this. It's a very great honor. I didn't know about it until this year actually, and what you guys stand for is amazing, and I want to be part of it. So thanks a lot.
Hector, you're up, buddy. Hector Galindo Lopez. Hector came to Norristown beginning his sophomore year from Milford, Delaware. He explains that he tried to join 3 different clubs at the time, but he found it very difficult to balance his wants with the needs of his family. Hector decided to put his family first and help care for his younger brother while his parents worked. Every day, Hector gets his brother from school, helps feed him, and then helps him complete his homework. Hector dreams of attending either Westchester University or University of Delaware and wants to major in criminal justice. His English teacher, Mrs. Bartlett, describes Hector as a reliable student who always contributes to classroom learning. He raises interesting questions that require higher level thinking. He is also a gifted writer. Mr. Payon, who is Hector's AP government teacher, says that Hector is a positive light in his classroom. He has an inquisitive mind and a true passion for learning.
Yeah, I came here like 3 years ago to Norristown, and when I first got here, in class discussions, they would always talk about how people perceive Norristown as such a bad stereotype. But from the moment I got here, it was like such a great community because everything was so close knit together. There's great programs. The people here are just like really great. But about the stepping up part, ever since like I was young, my mom has been there, but she's also had to balance out 2 jobs, 3 jobs sometimes to support me and my family. But I want to major in criminal justice because I want to be a civic servant, help out wherever I can through law, maybe a paralegal. I can't really top that speech because it's really great. Yeah, he summed it up. This is a great community. This is a great opportunity. You come here with a fresh mind and you see it's a great place without any stereotypes. Yeah, it's cool.
right, next up, Giulietta Marinucci. This will be like a little personal, but not really, so it'll be okay. I have had the pleasure of knowing Giulietta Marinucci since she attended Paul Fly Elementary School many years ago. As a young child, I remember her as a motivated leader, an old soul who always had empathy for others. She was caring, kind, and always took care of self, others, and things, a motto that Paul Fly believed in, and she embraced it. When I started at the high this year, I was so pleased and excited to know that I would be her counselor, would get to see her walk in graduation, but not just that, be able to experience the amazing young lady that she has become. I'm truly grateful for this experience. Giulietta is an amazing and dedicated student. She takes on classes that are challenging, but only necessary for those students who are looking to excel in her field of choice, doing so with independence and a driven nature. At Norristown High, she's received awards such as Student of the Month, Society of Women Engineer Award, and Excellence in Gifted Award. She is talented and bright and has much to offer to the present and the future. Ms. Giulietta Marinucci has been involved in amazing extracurricular and service activities. As a member and as a leader, including Robotic Club, DECA, Best Buddies, National Honor Society, Photography Club, and Bridge to Employment, all of which serve fellow students in our community. It is my opinion and that of the teachers who work with her and those who know her that Giulietta is truly a student who will always put forth wholehearted effort with amazing results that will impact future generations. It's my pleasure to introduce Giulietta Marinucci.
Okay, first, my guest today is my dad. He's been my #1 supporter for since I was in elementary school, always pushing me to do my best work and complete all my homework. And then I think if I didn't have him, I wouldn't be where I am today, because he always pushes me to do my work when I don't want to. And so I want to thank the Rotary Club for this award. I'm very honored, and I didn't know about the Rotary Club before, but then now that I hear about it, I'm really happy that we have a club like this in Norristown. And I'm gonna go on about a little story. So when I was little, my parents got divorced. That doesn't define me or anything. I'm fine with that. So then my dad lives in East Norton, and he chose to live here because my grandparents live here. So each day after school, I would always go to my grandparents' house, and they raised me a lot, with also my parents too, and they are also one of my biggest supporters as well. And then they taught me how to be kind to other people and how to look out for them. My whole family taught me to be kind towards everyone and help anyone in need. So my friends know me as that mom friend who always helps everyone. If someone's in need or needs help on homework, I always go out and help them. And then for my career or for my future, I'm planning to go to a university for computer engineering. I don't know which university yet because none of them have accepted me, but I'm waiting until March to see who accepts me. But I know whichever university I do attend, I'm going to be very successful. And I just want to further technology. I'm going to advance technology in a good way. So that's it. Thank you.
Go back.
Oh.
Did you forget something?
Next, I would like to introduce Mariela Sanchez. This one's a little long, but great. Mariela is a warrior, Sergeant Shearer states. When problems happen around her, she has the uncanny ability to stay focused and committed. Mariela is courteous, intelligent, and respectful. Her willingness to persevere is a unique quality and is what will continue to help her lead the pack in life. Simply stated, Mariella is a winner. In ROTC, Mariella's accomplishments include JROTC captain of the female Raider team, leader of the drill team, top female award for the JCLC, top PT award, citation and medal award for distinguished service. She is an overwhelming and positive presence in the ROTC organization at the high school. Her English teacher speaks very highly of her. She is respectful, reliable, and diligent. In senior seminars, she rose quickly as a class leader. Mariella speaks with confidence, encourages others to participate, in turn encouraging kindness and patience in others. Mr. McCown describes her as a curious student and deep thinker, a brave dissector in lab. Everyone loves to be a part of her group because she'll do all the dirty work. And a person of great self-awareness. Mariella has an amazing 5K time for the NAHS track field cross-country team with a time of 26 minutes. Simply amazing and proof of her hard work outside of the classroom. She is not only a great athlete, she is also accomplished on the stage. Mariella has earned a spot in a select number of students playing first row in strings. She has played in multiple school performances and symphony orchestras. Orchestra teacher, Miss Malkasian, describes her as a hard worker who has played in the orchestra all 4 years of high school, and a leader who helps underclassmen. This is her first year in Select Strings, a group of advanced musicians only. As Mrs. Malkasian says, the orchestra will miss her when she graduates. I think this is a sentiment that everyone who she has come in contact with shares. It's my pleasure to introduce Mariella Sanchez.
Good evening. I want to thank the Rotary Club for giving me this opportunity of receiving this award. And my guest today with me is my mother, Marita. My mother is my inspiration. I don't know what I would have done without my mother. She sacrifices so much for me. Even though I don't see her most days of the week, she's just my everything. And I hope one day I could give her all. Before I share my future plans with everybody, I wanted to share a little bit about myself. I came to this country when I was 9 years old. I was born in El Salvador, Huachapan. I came here without knowing absolutely nothing in English, and I managed to learn English in about 3 months. They had put me in a summer camp, and I remember I was just quiet the whole time. Till the last month, I started making friends, I started talking to people, and somehow I could speak it. And then when I went to school, I was able to read it. There, I have gone from a beginner ESL to an advanced ESL from 3rd grade to 4th grade. When I was in the 4th grade, I remember we took swimming classes. And I saw the JROTC cadets doing push-ups outside, and I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome. Like, I want to do that someday. And once came 8th grade year, I was like, I had totally forgotten about that. It was time to choose my electives, and then I remember a friend of mine told me, I'm going to join JROTC, and I was like, what is that? He was like, oh, that's like a military program, and the school is really cool and everything. I changed all my electives just to get that class. Once high school came, I didn't get it. So I was like, oh, well, I guess that's it. I'm not going to be in that class. So I went through the year and everything. It was about October, and a friend of mine told me, hey, do you want to come and run cross country with us? And I was like, I'm doing soccer. And she was like, come on, just come with us and everything. It'll be fun. And I was like, all right, where do we meet up? She told me, oh, we'll meet in the JROTC room and everything. And I was like, okay. So I went and ran, and I remember it was the first few minutes of practice, and I think running is my thing. And then she was like, no, that's just the warm-up. And I was like, oh, never mind. Practice finished, and Sergeant Shear came to me, and he was talking about some of his students that had made it to Temple and to some other colleges, and then I was like, well, that's outstanding. He was like, you could be one of those students if you want. He was like, why aren't you in my class? You should take my class and everything. And I was like, well, I was trying to get into your class, but I just didn't get it. He was like, okay, come first thing in the morning tomorrow, and I'll change your schedule. He changed my schedule, and I started in the JROTC class. First year I started participating, but I was very shy. I had no idea how to do the things, but
Later on, my sophomore year, I really started getting into it and I loved it. I realized that I have a passion for exercising. I really like all that stuff. And I decided to join the military National Guard this summer. My plans for the future are to become an officer in 4 years, getting my bachelor's degree, joining ROTC. I'm not really sure what I want to do yet. Maybe I want to become a physical therapist. That's what's in my mind right now. But for now, I don't know. There's just so many good things that have been happening to me lately that I feel like I should do something bigger for my community. I think Norristown is a great community. I never thought anything wrong about it until people started talking to me saying that Norristown's this, Norristown's that. But I was like, I've never seen anything wrong with it. I think it's an outstanding community, and I want to come back and give something great to it. Thank you.
Remember to stay up front.
It is my pleasure to introduce Andrea Perez. According to several of Andrea's teachers, Andrea is a dedicated young lady with a bright future. She is always prepared, always reliable, and is very self-motivated. She's an excellent writer, creative, and very passionate about her work. Andrea is a model student who every teacher dreams of having. Throughout her years at Norristown High School and Central Monco Technical School, she has belonged to several clubs and organizations and has volunteered her time to help others. She belongs to the Blue and White Society, an organization that helps set up school events such as pep rallies, spirit weeks, and other activities that bring pride and belonging to the students of the high school. She is a member of Young Scholars, a club organization that tutors other students and prepares them for post-graduation. With this club, she has visited several colleges such as Princeton and Villanova University, presented at the Martin Luther King Days of Service at the High, and has done clothing drives for others in need. Andrea has also been a third-place winner in the Skills USA competition for early childhood education. This is a technical student organization serving members enrolled in training programs in trade, technical, and skilled service. She is actively learning and excelling in technical, academic, and employability skills that are needed to be successful in the workforce. Andrea is an active member of the National Technical Honor Society, earning recognition for superior achievement in career and technical fields, helping her build an amazing career portfolio. Her list of accomplishments is extensive. She helps Norristown students at the OIC Learning Center with homework, builds relationships, and supervises them in indoor and outdoor activities. She has volunteered and worked at Camp Extreme Program, an 8-week STEM program to provide safe and fun environment to children in Norristown. She's volunteered at Little Hands Preschool at Central Monco, working hands-on with little ones and, albeit far away, future Norristown students and graduates, instilling in them a passion for learning. She is dedicated this year to enrolling in the Teacher Academy, which has provided her hands-on experience working with children on literacy, social skills, and other related academic activities at Whitehall Elementary School in Norristown Area School District. To say that Andrea is an outstanding student is an understatement. Her awards that she has received, such as Teacher Academy Student of the Quarter, Perfect Attendance, Distinguished Honor Roll, and many more, speaks volumes to her dedication and passion for schoolwork and service. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Andrea Perez.
Good evening, everyone. First, I just wanted to thank the Rotary Club. I'm very grateful to have been selected to receive such an honorable award. I also want to thank my mom, who's here with me today. Although she's a Hispanic mom, she probably doesn't understand anything I'm saying right now, but it's okay because she knows she's impacted my life very much. Looking into the future, I'm hoping to attend a 4-year university where I'll be majoring in early education. My top two choices are Westchester and Kutztown University, and I hope to make a final decision very soon. My interest in teaching has grown ever since enrolling in the Early Childhood Education program at Central Monco Technical High School, my sophomore year. Currently, I am in the new program called Teacher Academy at Central Monco, and it's given me the opportunity to intern at an elementary school, middle school, and a high school. Working with young children in a classroom setting has made me realize how much I love helping others, and I hope to continue my studies and possibly come back to work in the Norristown Area School District. Thank you.
We also get it.
Someone's folder.
It's all right.
All righty. Thanks to all of you. I always feel like, what was I doing in high school? When I listen to these students' background. It's amazing. And I'm glad to hear that so many good things are happening in Norristown. We usually close our meetings with our set of values. We just recite them. Some of us are brave enough to recite them without looking behind me at this banner. No, that's son of a good Rotarian. And then we'll wrap it up.
We have gear up here. We have gear up.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
See, that's how informed I am.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So, is that also yours, Louise, or?
I'm done with the students,
Okay.
but we have additional guests from Norristown School District to talk about Gear Up, your program.
Okay. Well, I guess we're not finished. The reason I was, Dave takes pictures, and I was hoping that he'd get a group shot of your students before he has to leave.
We'll get group shots of them, no worries.
Well, my apologies.
Just to show on the road.
Come on in. Well, we have additional, Norristown Area School District is part of Gear Up program, which you mentioned. The Gear Up staff is here. Nan Odenthorn does a great job. She is in charge of a lot of she started with grants, but she does everything. So I'm just going to let Stacey and Elijah take it over so we can learn more about the Gear Up program at Norristown High School.
Thank you all so much for coming out today. Thank you for actually inviting us. Thank you for all you've done already for the school district. The notes I have are about 35 minutes long, so it won't be too much longer. But the Gear Up program is such an exciting opportunity for our students in the Norristown School District. Currently, we are working on a 7-year grant that is going to be taking place with our 8th grade and our 7th grade students in all 3 of the middle schools. So those students are able to have counseling, and the counseling that I'm considering is more like a life coaching, helping them see the value of who they are and their gifts, their talents, and what they can accomplish with those things. So I'm personally at Stewart Middle School with another full-time staff member. We also have 2 staff members at East Norton, and we have 2 full-time staff members at Eisenhower as well. So the 6 of us are all headed up by Nan Odenthal, and she is in charge of the Gear Up program. The Gear Up program offers many different types of things, like counseling, career, coaching, college guidance. As far as what my main focus is, it's sometimes meeting one-on-one with students just to help them with their math homework. It could also be working in a whole classroom. It could also be just guiding those students to help them understand their gifts and start to discover the things that they like to do. As you heard from all 5 of our students, they all have had someone in their life that has led them to where they are now? Well, that's what we do, and that's our job. We come alongside of Norristown staff, their teachers and the counselors, as was said many times, do a wonderful job. And so we're just an extra support on the outside for that. I'm gonna let Stacey talk a little bit more about the inner workings.
Thank you again for allowing us to be here. We really appreciate it. And I know Dave just left, but we gave him our little elevator speech. So I was happy that he gave us a little shout out on his way out of the door. So just to piggyback off of what Elijah said, we are with the current 7th and 8th grade students for 7 years. So we are following them through their high school career. So we are just an additional level of support for all of the teachers, and I'm sure you've heard a lot from the students who presented today just about the impacts that they've had with the Gear Up. So some of the things that we do as far as being at Eisenhower, we have a dance group there, we have after-school programming over at the OIC, we have all different types of mentoring opportunities, tutoring opportunities, and what's very special and unique about this grant is that not all students look the same, and I mean their interests, their goals, so we're able to tailor all of the different types of programs and services that we provide to these individual students, and all of the schools have their own culture, so that's something that we really, really pride ourselves on with Gear Up, is because even though we all may go to visits to Temple University or Montgomery County Community College, we can also tailor all of the things that we bring to these schools to their needs. So it's more so about just pointing them in the right direction, giving them the opportunities, giving them the information to figure out what exactly it is that you want to do post high school. You know, we don't stress about having to know what it is that you want to do in this moment, because we're ever changing, we're always evolving, and our interests change, but we want to provide them with all of the opportunities to really pick and choose and see what it is that they like as far as what is it that they want to do when they graduate, as well as giving them the tools to be able to encourage them, boost self-esteem, giving them guidance, encouraging them with their academics, and really just being an additional level of support from what you do as teachers and staff, from what is going on already in the homes, and just being that extra level of support. So we thank you again so much for the opportunity to come in to speak to you exactly about what Gear Up is, and we hope that we continue to serve the Norristown area school district well. Thank you.
Questions?
Questions?
Could you tell them what Gear Up means?
Gear Up is gaining early awareness and readiness for undergraduate programs. It is a 7-year grant provided by the U.S. Department of Education. So we started here last school year with the 6th and 7th graders, and as they continue to progress, we will follow them, physically follow them through graduation.
How do you get the students? Do you deal with all the students in 7th and 8th grades? Do you meet with them on a schedule? Do you have a time during the day when you formally meet with them, or is it just ancillary after school?
Yeah, that's a great question. So all 7th and 8th grade students are part of the program. So that is 220 at Stewart and 200 and some at each other school. So the way that happens is we are seeking to provide as many different opportunities as we are able, so that way the student who's interested in dance can join that, and the student who's interested in science and technology can join a different thing. And so the more that we can find opportunities to take students either to locations or workplaces or colleges or even the after-school programs that we have, that's allowing each student to be involved where they see their gifts and their interests.
And another question, are you employees of the school district? Have you come in from outside the school district to supplement what the school district offers?
Yeah, so that's also a great question. You want to, I feel like stepping in and let Stacey do that one.
So we are a partnership with the Norristown Area School District. So we aren't under the school district, but we work hand in hand with them through the Lincoln Center. So they are our partners. So we're a partnership grant. So we have various partners. Junior Achievement is a partner with us. Norristown Area School District, the Lincoln Center, Temple University. We have various people who we partner with in order to bring about programs to the students. So we serve roughly 1,200 students. So we are doing the outreach with all of them. Our goal is to individually affect all of the lives, but even if we don't consistently come across direct contact with exactly all 1,200 students, all of our overarching programs will give them the tools that they need in order to be able to be successful and grow.
Another question, have you just started this year, or how long have you been involved with the school?
Well, we came into the school district about 1 year ago, so we started January of 2019. So this is our first calendar year, but our second school year.
Any more questions, Jim?
They can gear up, like we had students last year for 6th grade, so that we'll keep them and they keep following up. So the students we have now, we have about 7 to 8 of them that's in our program for the second year, which is a STEM program. So they come in after school to do STEM activities and so forth. So we follow them, and Stacey is like our connect person. That we have any issues, we can call her. But they come to our building and they do STEM activities. So they're working on, they have a robot now that they're redesigning to do a battle with. And Miss Andrea here, she's actually one of our after-school teachers. So she's working with the group, and she does science experiments with them and activities with them after school. So I was saying earlier, Dave donated some equipment, DJ equipment. Well, they figured out a way to fix it up, hook it up, make it work. And, you know, putting in wires, I don't know, they had music blasting down the hall. But she worked with them to do a playlist. So they're developing a playlist on their laptop that they can play back to the students, the younger students, to get them involved in activities. So STEM, you know, GEAR provides different services to do that. And when she talked about the college portion of it, we're taking 40 8th graders on a college tour in May to get them prepared, so that the idea of this program is that all of those students will go to secondary education. Any other questions? Well, thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else? That was great. Thank you very much. So, are we have a consensus for closing the meeting? All right. Is it true?
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And Rotary
She
connects.
said it in my chair.